my name is Gina and welcome to my channel if you're new. Today I'm going to be talking about how to make millions in real estate and what you can do today to get there. I'm not going to be talking about wholesaling or flipping where you buy something for cheap and then you sell it for more. Those two methods take a lot of hands-on work and are not passive income. I'm going to be talking about how to make money in your sleep, passive income through real estate. Today I'll be talking about buying properties, renting them out, and having that rent pay for your mortgage and for any profit too, and building equity in that property and owning it outright in 15 to 30 years. And this is going to be a beginner breakdown on how you do it step by step. So the first step is you need credit. So you need to build your credit, and I do have a video on this, so I'm going to link it down below and above here, but pretty much you need to open credit cards and use them a little bit so you have high credit. There's a lot of people out there saying you can buy real estate with no credit and no money, and that's almost impossible. And those scenarios are super rare and difficult to get. I've actually never heard of anyone buying a property, getting financing with no credit. It's almost unheard of. So you need to build your credit because lenders are going to look at your credit and they're going to use that to determine how much they're going to lend to you and at what rate. So it can save you a ton of money if you have good credit and they're going to give you a lower rate for that. Over the years, that really adds up. So building really good credit is super important. And I'd say that's your number one step. So if you don't already have credit cards, I would open a couple up and use them very sparingly and pay them off every single month on time. And this will help build your credit over time. Another way you can help build your credit is if you press the like button on this video so you can see more videos from me and learn more about investing in real estate. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Step number 2 to investing in real estate is saving money. Just like I said before, there's people out there who say you don't need cash. You can just use other people's money to invest in real estate. It's super rare where you're going to be able to finance the entire thing and not use any of your own money. Typically, you'll need at least 5 to 20% down. So saving up your money is key to buying real estate. Spending anywhere you can might be a sacrifice in the moment, but in the long run, it will help you make money in your sleep. Step 3 is having good, consistent income. When you're talking to a lender, they're going to ask you for proof of income, and this could be tax returns and bank statements and pay stubs. Whatever way you choose to make your money, whether this is a 9-to-5 or you're an entrepreneur and have your own business or you're self-employed, you need to show consistent, dependable, and stable income. The lender's going to want to make sure that you're going to be able to comfortably pay the mortgage payments every single month. So for example, if you made a ton of money on a stock that just blew up overnight and you want to show this as income for your year, that's not going to work because a lender wants to see income over time. They're going to want to see that you, the person taking the loan out, has money coming in consistently. If you have a regular salary job, like a 9-to-5, the lender's probably going to ask you for your last year of tax returns and the last 6 months of bank statements. And for someone like me who's self-employed or an entrepreneur, they typically ask for the last 2 years of tax returns and they average those 2 years out. If, for example, 2 years ago you were just starting out your business and didn't make much, and then the next year you build your business up a lot and feel ready to purchase a property, the lender might not see you as ready because they're averaging those 2 years out. So it might take another year of paying taxes and showing high income on your tax returns for the lender to approve you for the amount that you need. Another thing is for people who are self-employed who are looking to invest in real estate in the near future, you guys should be really careful with your taxes and be careful not to write off too much. When you're looking to write things off, I've heard this very common mistake that people write off everything they possibly can and then end up with very little income, and when it comes to getting approved for a loan, they're not able to because they don't show enough income even though they might have made a lot. And this is a very common issue. So if you're planning on buying a property soon, I would avoid doing this because the payoff from your investment in the real estate could pay off way more than the amount of taxes you're saving, which could be very minimal from a few extra expenses that you're deducting. Step number 4 to investing in real estate is to get pre-qualified with a lender. And this could be a bank or a mortgage broker. I personally find it easier to work with a mortgage broker because they're trying to get your business, so they're super on top of things and helping you, whereas banks are a little more difficult to reach sometimes and you can't get information out of them as quickly. But both work well, and sometimes banks are able to offer lower rates. I recommend getting pre-qualified with a couple different lenders and comparing their rates, and sometimes one might be able to beat the other. The lenders will run your credit and look at your tax returns and Using that information, they'll decide how much they're willing to lend to you and at what rate. And this will help you on your search because you'll know exactly how much you can afford. I've seen it happen many, many times where people go out looking at properties without being pre-qualified, and then they find a property they love and they rush to get pre-qualified, and then they find out that they're not qualified for as much as they were hoping, and then they're disappointed, and when they go back to look for properties, they feel like they missed out on the one they wanted. It always helps to know how much you can afford. It also helps to be prepared for later in the process when you find the property you want to already be prepared with your lender that you chose because you found the best rate with them or like working with them. Another note is that a lot of people are scared of getting pre-qualified with multiple lenders because they're worried about running their credit multiple times, but that's something you totally don't need to worry about. I believe all the credit checks within 30 days are bundled together as one little hit on your credit, which is very, very minor. And this is to encourage people to shop for a better rate. Step number 5 to investing in real estate is finding a real estate agent. Whether it be someone you know and trust or someone new, you can look at the reviews online and talk to multiple real estate agents and see who you like to work with. When purchasing real estate, it's super important to work with someone who knows the ins and outs of the whole process. I've seen it happen with people in my personal life who've tried to purchase a property on their own to save a little money on the commission, hoping that the seller would take the commission off of their purchase price. And because they didn't have an agent, they weren't taken as seriously. It's super unfortunate, but it is just bound to happen if you don't know exactly how the process works and how to write a legitimate offer. Step number 6 is do your research on literally everything, especially the areas that you're looking at buying in. I would recommend looking slightly outside of super nice areas, places that you see improving, places where there's more apartment buildings being built, more houses being built, more restaurants, more hotels, a lot more shops, and a lot more people hanging around in those areas. I believe areas like that are likely to become more expensive, and the properties in those areas are likely to raise in value. You want to invest in a place that has a lot of upside potential. And when you're doing your research, make sure to look at as many properties as you can. The more that you've seen, the better you'll be able to spot a good deal. I'd recommend looking for something that needs a little bit of TLC. So something like minor renovations, but nothing big like foundation or roof work, because those could be really overwhelming, and if you don't know what you're doing and you're a first-time investor, it could cause a lot of issues. The next few steps are something I'm going to go over more in depth in another video because they have to do with the transaction itself, but when I make that future video, I'll add it into the description below. Step number 7 would be to make offers with your real estate agent. So when you find a good deal, make an offer on it. You're probably going to have to make many offers on many properties to get the good deal that you want. And then when you finally get an accepted offer and open escrow, step number 8 would be to do inspections and make sure the property's in the condition that you expect it to be in. And if not, you're going to have to negotiate with the seller any credits or repairs for the issues that you find in the inspection. So it's really, really important to take a really good look at the entire property and get the proper inspectors in. And if the property needs a little bit of work, I'd also recommend bringing in your contractors. So once you've closed escrow and the property's yours, congratulations, first of all. You're going to want to do the minor renovations it's going to take to get the property into good shape. So whether this be painting it or, redoing some of the bathrooms or kitchens, and this will already add value to your property, and that combined with the fact that it's in an area that's getting nicer and growing and getting more expensive will also add value. So those two things are already making you money, which you should be super happy about. Your next step to investing in real estate would be to find a good tenant. I recommend using apartments.com. That's what I've always used to find tenants, and it's always worked really well. It's super easy to use, and it's one of the first places people go when they're looking for an apartment. I've gotten thousands and thousands of views on my apartment listings and get hundreds of calls on them. It's really one of the quickest ways to find a tenant. Some other platforms that are great for finding a tenant are Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. And then what I use to vet a tenant is a website called RentSpree. Not sponsored, but pretty much it's just a link that you can send anyone who wants to apply, and they have to pay about $30 for the application because the website runs their credit for you so that you have their credit report. They have to fill in a lot of information about their previous residence and why they're moving and their jobs so that you know that they're a qualified tenant. And I would recommend sticking with your gut. If you have a bad feeling about what someone is telling you and it sounds a little fishy, I've had a lot of stuff like that happen. For example, just the other day I had a tenant apply and they were saying they made $300,000 and they're self-employed, but they weren't able to explain what their business was. And they were looking at an apartment that was listed for $1,450 and they were asking for a few months free, and I was really concerned because they should easily be able to afford an apartment like that, and it was priced pretty well for the location and the spot. So when there's a red flag, stick with it because it probably means something's wrong. And there's a lot of fishy stuff that happens out in the rental market when you're looking for tenants, and vice versa. Once you've found a tenant, you'll sign a lease with them, and from then on you'll be receiving your monthly passive income. How beautiful is that? And then you'll use this monthly income to pay for the mortgage and hopefully give you a little bit of profit over that. So when you're doing your calculations and looking for the right property, make sure you're looking at the rental market in that area too, and estimating how much you're going to be able to rent the place for, and see if it's going to be more than your mortgage payments. I very highly recommend finding a property that will pay for the mortgage and more. And depending on which market you're in, this might be difficult or might be super easy. For example, in my market in Los Angeles, it's actually super difficult to find a property where the rent is going to be able to pay for the mortgage and more. But somewhere out in the middle of America, where properties are a lot cheaper, a lot of the times the rent on those properties can easily cover the mortgage. And so that last step was actually one option. Another option you can do, you could decide to do a short-term rental, sort of like Airbnb or VRBO. And depending on what market you're in, it might be illegal to do short-term rentals. For example, here in LA, it was illegalized, I think, in 2019 because it was causing sort of a housing crisis, which we already have, but investors were buying up a lot of properties, and the number of affordable apartments left were diminishing, and so it just contributed to a housing crisis. So that became illegal here. But in different markets, it could be worth it to look into VRBO and Airbnb and other sorts of short-term rentals. Short-term rentals are most likely going to be a lot more work and more hands-on, and you're going to have to be dealing with the people staying at your place a lot more, and there's going to be a lot more customer service that you have to give them. So it's going to be a lot more work and a lot more time-consuming, but it could give you a much higher return on the property. So you kind of have to weigh what you want to do and look at your options and do what's best for you. If you're really looking for something super passive, then just getting a tenant in there and signing a long-term lease with them is probably going to be best. Either way, you'll be using the income that you're making from the property to pay for the mortgage. Either way, the property will be paying for itself over time. And also, if you've done your research and everything goes well in the economy, the property should go up in value and you should be making money through that also. And if you want to take this to the next level, once you've built up equity in the property, you can refinance that property and use that cash that you get to put a down payment on another property and then get a loan on that property and do this many times. And this is called the BRRRR method. It's buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. And so that's the long-term goal with investing in real estate, is to keep doing it over and over and building your wealth and building your passive income too. If this video was helpful for you, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Leave any questions you have in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.